There are trees down everywhere around here right now. They're across the roads, they're on the power lines, and yes, some of them have fallen on houses. He's asking lawmakers this year to put money to boost starting teacher salary just above $50,000, and he's also asking for money to create a universal free breakfast program for all students in South Carolina public schools. Sort of at the end of the line, I'm going to step out of the way so you can see exactly what's happening behind me, but people are still joining the line here at the end. It is wrapped around the State House grounds right now. While Trump takes these 4 states, Nevada, Arizona, Georgia, and North Carolina, then that leaves us with Nebraska. Now, right now, it's unclear exactly if and when these residents will have to move out and what the next steps are, but many of them say they have nowhere else to go. And we're going to show them to you, and Krista, we want you to be the judge of which one is better. So we'll start with me and Taylor, which we're very proud of. We think he has a lot of character. So Taylor added some legs here to him at the bottom because snowmen definitely need legs. But that plan lost support on both sides of the aisle after a fiscal impact study found that it would actually raise taxes for around half of all earners in South Carolina, at least at first. Take a look at these ditches over here. So what the residents that we've talked to have said, their big issue is the amount of water, as you can see on the side of the road. There's a lot of grass and there's even some trash up on the further side. The program gives students up to $7,500 for private school tuition and other eligible expenses. But lawmakers say it wasn't until after that program went into effect that they found out the Department of Education was allowing students in certain homeschool style programs to get some of that money as well, something that they say they never intended. The idea is simple. Every teacher gets a mobile panic button. It's small enough to go right on the back of their lanyard. If an emergency happens, just a couple clicks will get first responders on the way to that location. But lawmakers want to put one of these systems in every school in South Carolina. And right now, they're not sure how much it would cost.
I know that every time that panic button is pressed, that Alyssa is helping to save lives.
It's a story no parent should have to tell. Lori Alhadeff's 14-year-old daughter, Alyssa, was killed in the Parkland school shooting in Florida. Now, 8 years later, she's pushing other states to adopt a new system that she thinks could have saved her daughter's life.
If that security guard had a panic button, pressed the panic button, the school went into lockdown, Alyssa and the 16 others could have gotten out of the view of the door, gone into their safety protocols, and I believe that her life would have been saved that day.
Under the bill, every public school in the state would have a panic button that looks like this. Districts like Lexington 1 and Richland 2 already have them. All teachers, administrators, or staff members have the button on them at all times. For this model, 3 clicks alerts an administrator that there was a classroom emergency, like a student having a medical issue. 8 clicks would trigger a school-wide lockdown. First responders can also geolocate the buttons, so they can tell exactly where the emergency is happening in that school. Patrick Kelly is with the Palmetto State Teachers Association. He says in his classroom in Richland 2, it gives him peace of mind.
It is a critically important resource to make sure that support gets to a crisis situation in the quickest possible fashion, and literally minutes can save lives in those kind of situations.
11 other states have adopted this policy, but the major issue is the cost. Lexington 1 paid more than $200,000 in the first year to buy the system, and even more to maintain it.
We've spent over $1 million in just the back end types of costs to try to make this work. The issue is maintenance and IT are those hidden costs behind every initiative that never get funded.
If lawmakers want to help districts pay for it at the state level, right now they don't know how much it'll cost.
We would respectfully ask that if the state mandates it, that the state provide the funding for it. Not all districts are, have the tax base to be able to afford the system.
Now, lawmakers did advance that bill to the full Education Committee, but they say they need more information on how much money it would cost and if the state's going to fund it before they move forward. Reporting at the State House, Josie Frost, News 19, WLTX. Experts have warned of the rising costs and lack of availability of child care. But with no action taken on a key bill this session, some parents say they're desperate.
I went through 40 different ones that they sent me a list, and even the at-home daycares, they didn't have any availability.
Juanetta Jackson is a mother to 3 children with autism. She says after the pandemic, they couldn't find any childcare, forcing her children's dad to stay home with the kids. She says now they have to live off of one income. It's a problem statewide. A 2018 study from the Center for American Progress found nearly half of all South Carolinians live in a child care desert. That's an area where there are more children than there are spots in a licensed child care facility. Sarah Knox is with the Children's Trust of South Carolina.
Access to affordable quality child care equals safer children.
A bill filed again this session would have encouraged employers to start their own child care programs by increasing the incentives. Under the bill, employers who start a child care program can get a tax credit for half of the initial costs. Then they can get another credit for half of the ongoing cost to keep that program up, and that includes employers who pay for their employees to get child care elsewhere. The bill would have also increased the tax credit available to child care givers. Knox says there's much more work to do to address the shortage.
If parents are not able to go to work because they don't have child care, that could create economic stressors in the family, and economic stressors we know just lend to a sense of there being a lot of unknowns and again a lot of stress, and that sort of environment does not create healthy, happy families. That could potentially lead to abuse and neglect, and it leads to not having a strong family.
For Jackson, she says she hopes they can find a daycare spot so both parents can work.
If we could find child care that has availability and that we can afford, then maybe Dad can go back to work and we can actually do more.
That bill never made it to the Senate floor this session, but Knox says she's hopeful that lawmakers will pick back up on the bill when they return to the State House in January. Reporting at the State House, Josie Frost, News 19 WLTX.
One way the Midlands did that today was the beautiful annual Veterans Day Parade in downtown Columbia, featuring our vets, their families, and supporters. It wrapped up just a few hours ago. Our Josie Frost has more.
I just met him about 5 minutes ago, and already, we're talking, like you'd see an old lost brother. So.
Jim Malik and John Howe talk at the Veterans Day Parade like they've known each other for years.
They're all brothers and sisters.
All brothers and sisters, and he flew and I was on the ground, and there was many times that we appreciated the air support.
They both share a special bond. They both spent time overseas in Vietnam.
2 weeks before I got my high school diploma, I got a draft notice. So in a few months, 4 or 5 months after that, I was right at 19 years old fighting in Vietnam. So I can't really say too much.
I joined up. The Army said I didn't need a college degree to fly, and I joined up and spent a year in Vietnam flying a helicopter.
They watched today as hundreds filled the streets of Columbia to watch bands, ROTC members, and politicians pay tribute. Bill Kennedy was in the Navy for 6 years. He comes to the parade every year.
Served aboard submarines. We traveled throughout the world. A lot of it was top secret things that we did. So, but during the Cold War, and I was honored to do that. I really was. I'm glad to see that people are still honoring our veterans and everything. They sacrifice a lot. The families sacrifice a lot.
But for Howe, this is his first time at the parade, and he's thankful to share a special moment with a fellow Vietnam vet.
I'm 77 years old and still here. A lot of guys, they came back with no arms. Some of them didn't come back. So I'm blessed.